So thinking about what that situation is then. So if you don't have the financial pressure to make your business support you yet, that's amazing. That's great. It gives you time and space to test the market, gives you time to test the products, your offer, your niche, and to grow slowly if that's what you need to do. And sometimes it really does, it is slow. And obviously that's better. It stands to reason, really, doesn't it, that that's better than if you have to make your business pay the bills right now. But there are mindset problems with this. And I'm going to talk to you more about that. But firstly, let's think about what I mean by a secondary income, because it could be a number of things. Recently, I've been talking a lot about when your husband or your partner or your wife is supporting you while your business takes off. But that's not it. That's not the only thing that might cause these same mindset issues of essentially having a safety net around money. So it could be that you work full time. And you have a business, side hustle that you're hoping will grow. It could be that you're managing your business around your working hours, around managing kids, around lots of other things. And that's where the secondary income's coming from. It's coming from your job. Or it might be that your secondary income might be from someone else. It could be another family member supporting you, or savings you made when you were working in a previous job, getting ready to leave to start your business. Whatever the reason, when you have a safety net, I like to think of it, it complicates your motivation. Now, I'm not saying that you're not motivated for your business to succeed. I know you are. I'm just saying the motivation is different and that it's not simple at all. So if you think about, maybe you're in a situation where every penny had to count, because it was going towards your rent, your bills, your food, your nights out. Remember those? Maybe when you were lots younger, living in a shared house or something like that. I have had days, where I would choose between paying a phone bill or going out or dinner. So that's not a great place to be. But I'm hoping that isn't where you are now. And it can be really great to feel the luxury of time, because compared to that position you were in, if that's where you were long ago, from the outside it kind of looks like luxury, doesn't it? So the luxury to create your business, to take your time about it, because your income isn't what's needed, or the income from the business isn't what's needed to pay the energy bill or pay for groceries. So you might be cutting back, you might be traveling less, you might be spending less, but your head is always covered with a roof and you can always switch on the heating when it's cold. You can always eat. So in the meantime, you have the luxury to build anything you like in any way you want. And you also have had the time by now, perhaps, to invest in marketing techniques, to invest in courses, to improve your business savvy, to improve the service you deliver. You know what you're doing. And what's really strange about this position, where you have a safety net of money to cover the essentials, is that it feels like it should be the easiest way to start a business when you have that time, when you have that money to cover the essentials. But it isn't always. So why? What is the problem there? Well, it's because the motivation has changed. So now it comes with a lot of extra stuff, a lot of extra pressure. The success of the business suffers massively in this position. I'll get to that because of this. And your sanity, your freedom, your autonomy, your creativity, these things suffer, and they are so, so important. Because the motivation to make money now compared with when you were younger is totally different. And we don't always consider that. The money is for different things, it's for different reasons. And you might not want to admit it, and you might not know it, but some days your motivation might be weaker than it was when you really needed that money to pay the bills. So because success starts from motivation, and that part is new now, it's different. I want to tell you 3 things that might really help you if you feel stuck in this situation where you want the business to be making money. There's lots of reasons for you to want it to make money and you want it to grow, but the money just isn't needed today. Because wanting the money and needing it are 2 different things. And I get it. Feels like you need this to work for you, for your sanity, to prove you can do it, like you were able to do in your last job, perhaps, really bloody well. So I get that frustration. So let's go through those 3 things, and I'd love to know your feedback. Let me know if this is helpful for you, and which one really kind of resonated with you, if so. So the first one is stop waiting for the business to take off. Stop waiting for the business to take off, because it won't. So instead, start to see your reality in specifics and be realistic about growth, and be kind to yourself about it. Right? So think about that phrase, when the business takes off, and think about how passive that phrase is. When does a business ever just take off? So are you setting unrealistic expectations here? And instead of thinking about it this way, think about just 3 key things that will indicate success in the next year, that indicate your reasons for having your own business that are working for you. You don't have to be amazing at business to set key performance indicators for yourself. So when you do this year on year or every few months, you'll see how you're progressing. And progress doesn't always have to be to do with profit or money. And in the beginning, you might not have much or any profit. So it could be that if there are indicators you're using, and they're the only indicators you're using, you're not going to feel particularly successful if you're just using money as an indicator. That's not going to do much for your motivation. So I want you to think kind of outside of that. So your metric success might be financial, it might be to do with money, but right now I'd encourage you to think about things that aren't to do with money. So what flexibility does your business give you that you didn't have before, or you wouldn't have in a corporate job, for example? What have you done, or what will you do in the next 6 months, in the next year, to grow the business? Did you run a workshop? Did you sign up some new clients? Did you get some new results, some new testimonials? Did you create a 3-day challenge? What have you tried that's repeatable? What have you tried that's worked even a little bit? Create a group, get a new following on Instagram. Be specifics about your achievements in the business. Write this stuff down. The actions you take are progress, and they add to your experience. They add to your following. And don't forget that in your following, from everything you're doing there, are paying clients that may not have revealed themselves yet. So that's number 1, is to stop waiting for the business to take off and instead be really specific. Be really specific about how it is growing aside from the money. And see that progress and be kind to yourself about that progress and celebrate it. Secondly, I want you to think about, if you're not already, and this is to do with that motivation again. What are you making money for? What's it for? So that sounds like a really silly question, doesn't it? So essentially, this is your big why. This is what I'll be addressing next week in a workshop on Monday at 12 o'clock. If you're interested in working on your motivational anchor, drop me a comment below and I'll send you the details if you haven't already signed up to that. If you don't know what you're making money for, you're unlikely to make much of it. It's as simple as that. So when it's your own business, when you have to motivate yourself every day, but you don't really need the money. You want it, but you don't really need it. If you don't know why you want the money, it's much harder to get hold of. So when we went to work, we got a salary, we didn't really need to know the answer. There might be some months that were better and you felt more motivated. Either way, the salary drops in your account. If you want your business to take over from your job, or from the support you're getting, or from the savings you're using, You need to have a stronger reason than because I want to earn a living, because I want to contribute to the bills. And your motivator has to be as strong as it was in your 20s and you needed it to pay the rent. If it's not yet there, do some investigation work and find out what it is you want to make the money for. It's different for everyone. It might be that you want to be a role model to your children. And if so, why? Look deeper. How are you going to anchor that motivator to make sure that's the reason you're getting out of bed every day? And it could be to prove that you can do it. If so, you need to make that reason shine so brightly with mantras and songs and the kind of solid, concrete motivation behind that reason so that you're never rocked from your purpose. And as I say, I'm going to be talking about all that stuff in my workshop on Monday. Let me know if you want the details. So number 3 is, again, getting very specific. So we've looked at motivation, we've looked at why we're doing it. So number 3 is, how much money do you need? How much do you need? How much do you need to call this a success? I know it sounds like a weird question because as much as possible is always going to be the answer. But being specific is the first part of manifestation. How do you manifest some money? You have to be specific. And you have to think about it in positive terms. If you want to make £20,000 this year in your business, make it £20,000 and break down into months and see if you think that's realistic. Because if it's really not realistic, you're setting yourself a big goal to miss and feel bad about. It's all about, I'm honestly all about for aiming high. I love that. But if you're making a business projection, try making it one you can reach, a high one, but make it one you can reach. Think about all those investors in Dragon's Den and the faces they get when they say they're going to hit 7 million in the second year of business. Your projections have to be based on something, and they have to be specific. Or it helps for them to be specific. Dream big, but then figure out how you can get those. Break it down. Then you can start to manifest it because it's specific. And when I'm talking about manifesting, I mean making it happen because you believe in it so strongly, because you visualize it, because you make everything about that one goal. And when you're thinking about, I'm just kind of on that topic, when you're thinking about manifesting something, when you're thinking about creating that figure for you, being very specific about what you want to create, put it in the positive. So make it, I want to make this. Even better, I will make this. I am a person who makes this amount of money. Not a phrase that's kind of in the negative. So you're not saying I don't want to be skint anymore, because that negative phrasing becomes something for your subconscious to feed on. Think of it like ordering food in a restaurant without a specific order. So maybe you go to a restaurant, you don't like eggs, and you say, "Oh, give me some food. I don't mind what it is. I just want something, and I don't want eggs." And the food service remembers the only food you've mentioned because you were unspecific about what you wanted. You only mentioned what you didn't want, and she brings you an omelette. So that's just kind of an example, but be specific, make sure your goals are stated in the positive. And that's all I want to say today. If you want to join me on Monday in the workshop, I'm going to be taking you through the 4 limiting mindset things that happen when you have a secondary income of this kind. And one of the things we'll do Monday too is create a desire list, which will really help you if you're feeling a little bit stuck in your motivation, or if your motivation changes from day to day and it kind of has days when it wobbles. What we're going to be doing is finding that new motivation. We're going to be anchoring it for you so that it doesn't change, or so that you have the tools to anchor it back, to pull it back if you need to. So I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what you think and what resonated most with you. And hopefully see a few of you next week on Monday. Have a fabulous day and a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.